Prosecutors are dropping criminal charges against actor Alec Baldwin following the deadly shooting on the set of his movie Rust. Baldwin was charged with involuntary manslaughter for holding a gun when it went off, killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. So joining us now to discuss this is defense attorney and former prosecutor Vinoo Varghese. He's also part of Harvard Law's teaching faculty. Hey, Vinoo, it's always good to see you. So this is kind of interesting. This is kind of interesting. They looked at the evidence, I presume, felt there was enough to charge Alec Baldwin as well as the woman in charge of the guns on the set. What would cause them to drop these charges now? Is it, would it? I know we don't know the details, but is it that the evidence wasn't strong enough? Could it be new evidence?
Well, both. You have a leak from the camp, or at least from the district attorney's office in New Mexico, or perhaps a defense lawyer who got some information or got something that maybe he wasn't fully supposed to get, but is revealing it. And it shows that the gun was modified before it got to Alec Baldwin. So the New Mexico statute, in order to convict somebody of involuntary manslaughter, they have to show that they caused death in an unlawful manner or without due cause and circumspection. What does that mean? That they were reckless, they were negligent in the way that they handled the gun. So in this case, it looks like before it got to Baldwin, something was modified. It's going to be very difficult to pin that on him. From the beginning, I thought that this was crazy that he was even being charged. Civil issues are different, but in a criminal case, to show proof beyond a reasonable doubt that it was his fault, when there's a whole list of people that handle these kind of things before it gets to the actor. And so I thought it was crazy that he was being charged. But things like this happen when you deal with a celebrity. You have famous prosecutions of cases, including Kobe Bryant, the Duke lacrosse team. Historically, I've been around a while. I've seen these where small town district attorneys end up charging celebrities only to have the case unravel before them.
That is really interesting. I actually didn't know that detail. And, we recall that at some point along the way, Alec Baldwin said, well, I didn't even pull the trigger. I didn't even touch the trigger, something along those lines. And that seemed a little fantastical. But now if we find out that, the gun was altered in some way, maybe it's possible. But does this mean that Alec Baldwin is completely out of the woods? Could these charges be refiled?
I mean, the special prosecutor, and so it's interesting to see how this case has progressed. The original district attorney who brought the case is no longer handling it, then appointed somebody. It turned out that person had a conflict of interest. And now there are two new special prosecutors, and they said that this doesn't absolve and their charges could be refiled. Good luck. I mean, I don't think this case is going anywhere. And that's exactly what you just said. What they feel is the problem, or what's the problem, excuse me, because what Baldwin said may actually have been the truth, that this gun fired without pulling the trigger.
Man, that's so interesting. Vinoo Varghese, always great talking to you. Thank you.
My pleasure.